What do y'all think of this lip gloss? I don't know. Like, I like it, but then I don't. I feel like it's giving sophomore year in high school. I don't know, with all the glitter, but whatever, I'm keeping it on, girl.
I'm Jen. I'm so glad you're joining me.
Hello loves, welcome back to Real Talk with Jen. I'm Jen. How are y'all? How's it going? How's it going, girl? How's it going? Tell me everything. I hope this summer is being good to you, and I hope you are getting out of the house. Okay? Please. And it's so funny for me to be so aggressive about that when I, for real, did not leave my house for a good long while. But now, I'll be outside. Even if it's just the yard or to take a walk. Like, I've turned into that person. Sometimes just getting fresh air does something for your mood, okay? It makes you feel a little bit better. Even if you already feel good, it makes you feel better. And if you're not feeling great, which if you are, I am sorry and I will pray for you. And I really hope things change, because people are out here struggling still, mentally, financially, physically, emotionally. It's still so much going on. I always try to not turn blinders on to the fact that, like, everybody ain't out here happy as a lamb. Like, it's a lot going on at any given time. Today I want to talk about getting out of our comfort zone. I feel like I've been doing that lately. Our household is very routine based. We do things a certain way. Everyone knows it. We know what it takes to keep our household running properly. That's the way to say it. And everyone has that, right? Everyone knows what it takes to run your household properly and smoothly. And that's how me and my husband are, right? So we keep to a certain, like, you know, cadence on how we do certain things. But in the midst of that, you gotta try something new. You gotta do something different, try something new, whether it's for yourself or for your children, which inevitably, if you have children that are the age of my kids, if it's new to them, it's gonna be new to you too, because you gotta go with them and you gotta help them, and you got, you know, they can't do anything by themselves. So if you signing them up for karate or baseball or whatever, you're also about to be a part of that as well. I'm like the office manager of my home, which I know a lot of y'all are too. So what can you do to, like, add something in, to add some, like, you know, fun and flair to it that isn't gonna be like extra work for you, or doesn't feel like it's gonna be extra work. It's gonna be extra work, but doesn't feel like extra work, or that you're spreading yourself too thin. Some of the new things that I've been doing in the past, I want to say month, 2 months or so, I have been taking law classes on a site called Coursera. They have a plethora of topics to choose from. Like, this is not specific to law, it's not specific to any one thing. Go on there, see what your, you know, what speaks to you, what makes sense for you naturally, and see if they have classes on it. And these are like legit classes from universities around the country with legit professors from all around the country, like really reputable places, people, all of that. Like, you could take a class at Harvard, you could take, you know, a class at wherever. I mean, like, it's a lot of information on that site. So if you're into trying to find something just different, like, I have a master's and I have long since stopped school. Like, and I've thought about going back. I have thought about going back, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm just tired, and I just don't want the commitment. Every time I think about it, I get excited for a moment, and then I'm like, girl, you don't want to do that. So I think what I have decided to do instead is kind of like an in-between. And that in-between is taking these classes on Coursera. And I've always been into law. I've always been interested in law. I wanted to be a lawyer at one point. Kind of romanticized being a lawyer for a long time, and I feel like I still kind of do, because, like, why would I take these classes, right? I take, like, American law, constitutional law. They have all types of classes, y'all. I think I'm taking like 2 right now, but it's difficult, and you do it on your own time. Like, they're obviously recorded, so you're doing it on your own time. And for me, I try to stay to a schedule, but I oftentimes don't honor that schedule because things come up and life and this and that, but I always try to get to it eventually. I take notes. I do it just like I'm doing like a regular, you know, like class if I was in college, because I think it's just something to keep my braining, you know what I mean? Like, it's just something to add another layer to my life that's like not too much, but just enough to feel like new and fun. So check it out. Like I said, I'm gonna put it below. Another thing I've been doing, which y'all know if y'all saw like my last video or the video before that, I started working out, y'all, and I am not that girl. I just want to be so clear about that. I am not that girl. I never have been that girl. I don't like working out. It doesn't make me like happy, or you know, some people work out and they say they get energized and all these things, child. I have never felt that way. But lately we got the bike now downstairs, and then with me cutting back on wine, that also obviously makes a difference in how I feel on the day-to-day. And so I was like, you know what, we're gonna do this working out thing. We're gonna do it, and it's been going well, y'all. I mean, I'm trying to lose the weight. It's going slow, but it's going, and I've enjoyed it. And that for me is very much a new thing. I know a lot of y'all out there are working out on a daily, and so kudos to you, sis, honestly, because it is not easy. But I do think at some point you get addicted to the results you're getting, and I'm not getting the results right now, so it's a bit harder for me to like motivate myself. But I've been doing it, y'all, and that for me is a new thing that I'm very proud of. And my husband always makes a point to make me feel like good about like sticking with it, because he's been there throughout my whole little workout journey in the past, and I just fall short, child. And so he's been really encouraging during this time of me trying to like do something new, and I'm into it. Another new thing I've been trying is putting timers on my social media intake. The woes of the world really like impact me in a way where it like interrupts my mind, my emotions. Like, it just sometimes it's honestly just too much. And I think I've come to terms with that about myself. Like, this is something like I can only handle to a point, and then beyond that point, I'm just like a wet noodle. Like, I'm just sad and I'm dreaming about it, and I'm just like raging around the house because, you know, life isn't fair, and why do people have to go through all this, and why this, and you know, like, it really upsets me, y'all. So I decided to put time limits on my social media intake, and there is literally like a timer on, I have an iPhone, but I'm sure it's on Androids as well somewhere. Go into your settings, and then you can set a timer for all social media, and that includes like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. Obviously Instagram is like my kind of social media of choice, if you will. Twitter, and any other thing that they deem social media. I was actually surprised when I tried to get on and WhatsApp was also like dimmed, because what it essentially does is when you've hit your limit, your screen is like a screen that comes up that kind of takes over your phone, and it says you've hit your limit for the day, and then it says either okay, you hit okay, and when you hit okay, it essentially kind of grays out the social media icons on your phone. And if you want to get into it, you click it, and then it'll, you know, pop up again like, are you sure you want to get on social? Or it'll say something to that effect, and then it'll give you like 15-minute increments that you can go back in, or it'll say, you know, your decision is that you don't want to go, so you just say no, and then it'll go back to like sleep. I have a 3-hour-a-day limit on my phone, and usually I'm okay with it unless I'm like off of work. When I'm off of work, and I'm not even talking about the weekends, y'all. I'm talking about like if there's a weekday that I'm off of work, I find that I hit that limit way early in the day, because girl, I just be scrolling and doing nothing for real. So I think that's the cadence that I'm finding. But for the most part, I've been doing pretty good. And if you're like me, where things kind of affect you more than you would like, or you know, you just want to pull back, maybe it's not even all that serious, and you just want to pull back from social media, because if you're, you know, a millennial like me, we didn't grow up with this in our lives. Like, this wasn't always a part of our lives, even though it feels like it. So like, we don't need it for real. I know a lot of people do like social media blackouts for themselves. I have historically not been that type of person, but you know, whatever works for you. I think this is kind of what makes the most sense for me, which is just step away after 3 hours a day and keep it under that amount, and then like keep it moving, just to keep my sanity and like mental health in order. And the last thing I would say I'm doing new is like these videos. Like I told y'all in the last kind of soapbox video that I wanted to try you know, doing like a podcast style video with my sisters or my friends, my cousins, you know, just getting different perspectives. They're all hilarious, so if nothing else, you'll get some good laughs out of it. So I'm looking forward to like trying that. That'll be very new for me, and I know a lot goes into managing videos when there are several people in the frame, everyone's talking, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot harder than content creators make it seem. People on the other side of the camera just don't realize the amount of work that it takes. So I think I've been a bit hesitant. I think that's a part of my hesitancy, is like, oh my goodness, it's gonna be a lot. Now I gotta do this, and I gotta arrange this. And I mean, it's a lot. It's not as easy as it seems in the 15-second, 30-second clips y'all be seeing sometimes on social media. But what you get out of it is like really dope conversations with people that, like, if you met in person, you know that you would get along with just fine. That's how I am with like the people I even follow on YouTube. A lot of my YouTube faves are people that I feel like I would be cool with. Like, if we ever met in person or in another life, you know, we lived in the same city, we grew up together, something like, I feel like they are my people. And that's important in kind of this virtual environment. When you start to interact with vibes that are not yours, you'll lose yourself, quite frankly, especially if you're just chasing a bag. You'll lose yourself quick. It'll be fun to have those conversations, to do those type of videos. I'm already enjoying doing my soapbox videos again. So I think that's been the last like new thing that I'm doing that kind of scares me a little bit but makes me excited. And I hope y'all are doing the same thing too. We cannot just keep with the same old. We can't, you know, because you get content. And it's like, well, why would I shake things up? Things are fine, you know, and things are not always fine. So when they are, you like to keep it, you know, copacetic. I'm the same way. But we get one life. We get one life, you know. So live the life that you have right now. Try new things. Try some old things, refresh them, bring them back. Something you used to enjoy in the past that you kind of just stopped doing. Revisit that, because that feels new again, you know, when you haven't done it in a while. And just give yourself some extra something that you maybe were lacking, because sometimes life gets boring. Also, I remember, I will never forget when I was younger and I said something to my mom and she was like, well, sometimes life is boring. And I was just like, you know, like, you don't want to hear that, but it was something that always stuck with me. Like, every day is not turn up Thursdays, turn up Tuesdays, and you know, going to the club and this, that, and the other, whatever it is that people do for fun, child. Every day is not that day. So in between, what are you doing to like stimulate yourself and keep yourself in like a happy place? Like, is it yoga? Is it reading? Is it, you know, volunteering? Is it taking a class? Is it starting a YouTube channel? Is it starting a podcast? Whatever it is, it doesn't always have to be tied to being able to monetize it in any way. If it makes you feel good and you're not hurting other people, you're not hurting yourself, then tap into it. Is it photography? Are you just like good at it? Or maybe you're not good at it, but you just like to do it. Do it, okay? Do it, y'all. One life, we get one. My husband always says you don't get no extra man. He doesn't even play video games. I don't know why he correlates things to video games, but nevertheless, he has a point. You get one life, you get one man. You're not gonna get extra lives, ain't no bonus points. You get one chance. So let's make the most of it. Have some fun along the way, learn some lessons, be good to one another, help one another, inspire one another, and see where things take us. You literally will never know until you start doing it. But let me get off my soapbox. Make sure you are being good to yourself. Make sure you are being good to other people. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.